ॐ भद्रं मे अपि वातय मनः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नमः श्रीशङ्करानन्द, नमः श्रीशङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने, गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने। सविलासमहामोह, सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे, ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे। Continuing from where we left off yesterday and looking at this same consciousness, free of the body, mind, sense complex of the individual on the jiva side, and free of all the accoutrements that make Ishvara, such as all might, all knowledge, omnipotent, all power, all pervasive. These are all qualities. Ishvara qualities, Jiva qualities. And the qualities are attributes. Attributes of what? As though attributes superimposed upon that which is free of all attributes, namely this awareness, this consciousness, which the Upanishad wants you to call as yourself. This is what the teaching is. So then we saw yesterday that last night we saw the third verse, and then after the fourth verse the foundation is set and the text will proceed very, very, very quickly, because that's why we spend a lot of time on the foundation, so that when the other verses come, it is very easy to connect and move on very, very quickly. So we saw how this upadhi means that which lends itself, which lends its attributes to something else. That is what is called upadhi. Like the red flower will become an upadhi for the crystal. You put the red flower or the red cloth behind the crystal, how does the crystal appear? Red. Yes. This is a very easy question. Even without coffee, we can answer. Yeah. Red. And you put yellow cloth, how does the crystal appear? New Chaitanya has come to the ashram. Yes. And then you put orange cloth, then what? Swami Kristalananda. Yes. So we take the crystal to be looking like red, yellow, orange, white, whatever it is, without it becoming so. This is what is the effect of the upadhi on that which is colorless, attribute-less, and in its own glory, namely the crystal. Similarly, the Atma, like the crystal, is colorless, attribute-less. It doesn't have jati, no species, it is not a noun, it doesn't have guna, it doesn't have attributes, it doesn't have karma, action, it doesn't run, sit, stand, because these are the limits of the language. And it doesn't have sambandha, it's not connected, it's not somebody's sister, somebody's father, somebody's mother. No, it is itself. But in association, we have to say as though association, because the crystal doesn't really become red, you see. It appears as though it is red without really becoming red. Because when you take away the red flower, the hibiscus flower, when you take away from behind the crystal, the flower has not left a red colored stain on the crystal, has it? No. It is free. And so, in the same manner, the Atma, no matter what it associates with, it can associate with a very high level upadhi like Shiva, like Vishnu, etc., without really taking on those powers, and then it can associate itself, as it were, with a lowly upadhi like the complaining jiva without becoming the complaining jiva. This is the setup. And so the setup is very, very clear. But then how come I feel limited? How come I am this? Because that same consciousness has, as it were, entered this body-mind-sense complex. The body-mind-sense complex is like the red cloth, the yellow cloth, and the entry, the so-called supposed entry. There is no entry, but we have to somehow explain this. There is an as-though entry of this awareness into this upadhi called body-mind-sense complex. And then what happens? The same thing that happens to the crystal happens to the Atma. I take myself to be as good as the body, as good as the mind, as good as the senses. And this is what is called bandha. The fourth verse describes this very well. And what does it say? The fourth verse says that this bandha, bandha proktaha, this is called bandha. And what is this bandha? Advayananda rupasya sadvayam cha dukkhita bandha proktaha. This is what is called prokta, means told. This is what is called bandha. So what is this bandha? Of this Ananda Swarupa. What is Ananda Swarupa? The nature of limitlessness, of this awareness, this consciousness, which is the nature of limitlessness, and Advaya, nature of non-duality, nature of oneness and limitlessness. This Ananda, what has happened to it? It has become Sadvaya. Sadvaya means it has become many, so to speak, as though many. Advayananda Rupasya, this Swarupa, which is Advaya, now having entered all these bodies, what has it become? Dual, so to speak. It has not really become dual, just like the crystal has not become red, yellow, etc. But this is how it's an appearance. The appearance in association with the body-mind-sense complex looks like as though it has become duals. Sadvayam, and then what does it lead? This Sadvaya means this duality, this apparent duality is taken to be what? Real. The apparent duality that is taken to be real causes dukkhita. Dukkha means what? Sorrow, yes. Dukkha is sorrow. Dukkhita means the nature of, sorrowfulness. Dukkhita. This is the cause of bondage. These two things. One is seeing two in the place of one, and then sorrow is the definition of bondage. This is what is called bandhaha proktaha. This is what is called bondage. The bondage becomes complete when the association of the Atma with the body-mind-sense complex causes confusion. Causes confusion because I am not able to delineate the I, because the I has as though become mixed up with what? Not I. This is what is the problem. This is what is samsara. So then what is mukti? What is mukti? Cat's name in the ashram. Yes, in Vedanta ashram, only Vedanta names are given even to cats. All right. So, what is freedom? Freedom is Swarupena sthitihi muktihi iti uchyate. We have to reclaim the word mukti now from cat to cat to the nature of the Atma. Mukti means freedom, from much to free. So, what is this now? Here we have to see something very important. Swarupena sthitihi, remaining by oneself as oneself despite all the tricks played by the upadhi is called mukti. And this mukti, how is it affected? It is brought into place by vichara, the uncovering of what is already there. The crystal doesn't have to be made. The crystal is already there. The crystal is uncreated. What is created is the confusion that the crystal is yellow, red, blue, etc. When it is none of those things. And this is what has to be understood properly. Therefore, the fourth verse sets it up very well. This is where the origin of dukkha, sorrow, lies. In this confusion between the I and the not I. The not I is taken to be I, and the I is taken to be not I. This will explain the verses 5 we have already seen, 6 to 10 will explain this much, much more clearly. But for now, we have to do a small little discussion of what is the nature of this association between the finite body-mind-sense complex and the infinite Atma that this finite body is, as it were, housing. What is the connection? What is the association? And here the Shastra talks about 3 kinds of association. One is called sahaja tadatmya. Tadatmya means identification. Tadatmano bhavaha tadatmyam. Abstract noun, identification. Identification means what? Thinking it to be as good as I. This is the identification. So the first form of identification is a natural identification, not a human-made identification. It is there. So supposing I pinch somebody, the person sitting next to them will not say, ow. Okay? Who will say, ow? The person that is pinched will say, ow, stop that. What are you doing? And so this way, so when there is a sensation of Shita, cold, Ushna, hot, who has to understand? Not the neighbor. I have to understand because I have to stay away from fire. I have to stay away from ice and all these things, extremes. The extremes of cold and heat I have to stay away from. So I am the boss of this body-mind-sense complex as far as these sensations go. And this is how one saves oneself from pain and all these things. Suppose the sensations were not there at all. This recognition was not there. Pain was not sensed. Like sometimes it happens, like after an accident, we hear, it was in the news a while back, this British woman lost all sensation of pain. And one would think, oh, this is great, no pain. But the poor thing was always burning herself and then falling down, hurting herself and not knowing it. And then again not knowing how much pain is there, not taking oneself to the doctor when is needed, making everything complicated, so much so that she could not be left alone, not allowed to go outside alone. So therefore, this is a big travesty. This is a wonderful blessing which comes along with this sharira, this body, the ability to sense all kinds of impressions and to save this body from calamity is called, for this a certain identification is needed. That is called a natural identification. Natural means it comes along with the body. And that means what? It is not human-made. It's not human made? No. Then who made it? Ishvara made. Part of Ishvara's order. Then one more identification is there. This is not only this is my body, but this is my family. These are my blood relatives. And people are very, very particular. These are my blood relatives, means I share the same DNA with them. This is how it is, and this is I am born to them, or they are related to me. And doesn't matter, even if people outside the family may be very affectionate and everything, it takes a big heart to recognize everybody as family, vasudhaiva kutumbakam. It takes a very big heart and a lot of maturity to do that. In the beginning, we have this tribe mentality, clan mentality, meaning identifying ourselves with this particular family, with this particular thing. And this is also a certain kind of an association that is Ishvara made, not human made. This is called karmaja tadatmya, born of karma. Why this particular body? This is a very important question. Why am I in this particular body and not that kind of a body? Why this body creaks each time it gets up? It needs some oiling. Each time it gets up, it makes noise, it crackles and pops like a cereal in contact with milk. And so, why is this body like that? But somebody else's body, they may be 80 years old, but they look not a day more than 50. How come they have this kind of a body and I have this terrible body? Why is that? Karma. Did you make your own karma? Yes and no. Yes, I'm responsible for the karma, but that this karma would fructify into this particular body, it is Ishvara Srishti, Ishvara's creation. God made body, God made family karma, God made individual karma. And all this comes together. This is karmaja tadatmya. And I suffer, the individual suffers. Why? The dukkhita, the sorrowfulness is there because I claim that karma. And I claim to be the victim of this karma. I am victimized by this karma. I am victimized by what is this? Why me, why me, why me, why me, why me? In Indian concerts, we have this tanpura, that which keeps the main notes of the raga, the melody in question, so that the musician can improvise and then come back to the same notes. It's called tanpura. And then every jiva has a tanpura. Oh, I have an inner melody. No, it's a cacophony. What is it saying? I want, I don't have. It's like a drone. Yes. I lack. Why me? And the funny thing is, 8 billion people are saying, why me, at the same time. Together. So this is called the association with the karma. Identification with the karma, feeling victimized, feeling targeted, feeling helpless, hopeless all the time. This is the second kind of association. You are not responsible for this identification, it is already there, but you have the wherewithal, we have the wherewithal to come out of this identification. This is very, very clear. Now there is a third form of identification, and what this is called Bhrantija Tadatmya. Bhranti means, what is that? Delusion. Lost. Feeling lost is called Bhranti. From Brahm, to wander aimlessly. So this is what is Bhranti. So this identification with the body-mind-sense complex, born of Bhranti, is human-made. It is, you cannot blame it on Ishvara. Meaning what? I am fat, I am thin, I am bad, I am good. I am this. So the body association, mind association, all these things, this is what is called Bhrantija Tadatmya. Now, out of these three, which one can you tackle? The last one. And if you tackle the last one, the first two get resolved automatically. They do not affect the person at all. This is just an objective fact that there is pain, there is this, and there are sensations. So if you go behind a guru and try to see if people have all kinds of funny ideas. So somebody gave this idea to me, and so I am sharing it with you. And so their idea was, let me sneak up behind the guru to test if the guru is truly beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the senses. So what did they feel like doing? They didn't do this. Thankfully, they checked with me, and I said, no need to do this. So, so they wanted to sneak up behind the guru. Usually when you go to the guru, you say, Bho Guru, meaning Bho is a term of respect. Bho Guru, oh dear Guru, oh revered Guru, this is how you address, and usually from the front. But this person wanted to go from behind on Halloween and say Boo Guru instead of Bho Guru, and see if the guru jumps. Okay. Guru gets startled, guru jumps 3 feet into the air, guru jumps and comes down. And that means what? Oh, what a disappointment. Unenlightened guru. Fire the guru. And so this is, before you fire the guru, I would say have a conversation with the guru. And then you can ask the guru, did you jump? The guru will say, I did not jump. What jumped? The body jumped. The sahaja tadatmya, the first kind of, association, the identification with what? With the protective mechanisms of the body, like the eye blinking, and when there is some kind of a foreign object, so that there is that, and so the same kind of, it's based on reflexes. And so that is not the I. The guru knows very well. The reflexes are not the I. What jumped is the body-mind-sense complex. That doesn't have anything to do with whether one is wise and or other than wise, otherwise. This has nothing to do with that. So therefore, what is the criteria of what is called a person of wisdom? The one who is no longer ignorant of the self, is that one is not bothered about these kinds of reflexive reactions. One is not identifying with the reflexive reactions. One is not saying, I know I shouldn't have jumped. Next time I'll try harder. Try again next Halloween and boo and say, see what happens. I will practice. I will do more sadhana. It is not, because the body is not you. The I is not placed in the body-mind-sense complex, and that is exactly where we have to understand. That is exactly where we have to come. This is where we have to see. This is the Bhranti. The Bhranti is thinking, oh my God, I jumped. Oh my God, I did not jump. Oh my God, should I have jumped? All these things are a royal waste of time, a total waste of time, and a total distraction from what is at hand. And so from verses 6 to 10, we see even more clearly, Swami Vidyaranya delineates the source of this confusion in a very unique and beautiful way that we don't really see anywhere else, perhaps in the Upanishads somewhere, but really this is very clearly delineated. So what does he say? He says that, look, there are two kinds of thoughts, because the whole world is recognized through what? Thoughts. It's recognized in the buddhi, in the faculty of the intellect, through thoughts. How are the thoughts lighted up? The thoughts are blessed by the light of consciousness. The buddhi is also simultaneously blessed by the light of consciousness. And so what happens is that the thought comes to light. Flower thought. This is flower, comes to light. This is tree. Tree thought comes to light because it is lighted up in the buddhi. You think of tree and what is there? Tree thought is there. You think of bush, bush thought is there. You think of microphone, microphone thought is there. Similarly, all our perceptions of the Jagat are where? In the form of thoughts in between these two temples. This is where the Jagat is. No, but the Jagat is out there. Yeah, but out there, how? It goes in through here. This is what it is. Which brings us to the Buddhist koan. What is that? If there were a redwood tree in the forest and it fell down and nobody was there, will it make a sound? And then there are two possible sides you can take. The scientist will say, of course it will make a sound. Why? Because the velocity of this object weighing so much, falling on the ground with this kind of a speed will create a sound. The physicist will say that, and then the Vedantin will say, but, if there is no ear, is it a sound? Can it be called a sound if it is not cognized? In other words, is it sound to call it a sound when there is nobody to cognize it? The Vedantin always wins, okay? Yeah. So, how can you call it a sound? A sound is that which is cognized, which is recognized as the sound, and then I say, I heard this tree, then only it becomes a sound. And so, basically, the I is now the thought of the Jagat is lighted up by the buddhi and then owned up by the ahankara. Ahankara means I notion. The I notion owns up the Jagat as I saw this. Ikshe. This is what the 9th or the 10th verse says. Ikshe. Shrinomi. Jigrami. Swadayami. I see. Ikshe. Shrinomi. I hear. I'm the one who heard this. Jigrami. I picked up the smell of this rose. Swadayami. I tasted this wonderful dish. And then whatever is missing also we have to add there. I touch this cloth. Like this, all this you have to add. And then this is becoming evident to me. The Jagat becomes evident to me in the faculty of knowing as a series of discrete impressions called vrittayaha, vritti. Vritti means thoughts. Whatever the mind undergoes a change in the wake of this thought is called vritti. Tree thought. Immediately what? The entire mind assumes a particular form of the tree. Some tree that you like, some tree that you might have seen or remembered recently from seeing, or looked on a video, or looked in a picture book, story book. Some tree, that tree comes to mind, and then this is how the whole Jagat is perceived because of these thoughts. And what are these thoughts? These thoughts may be separate thoughts, discrete thoughts. But Svatmavidyananda has one name for them. They are called idam vritti. Idam means this vritti. This vritti means it highlights everything that in the Jagat we call this. What about that? The word that in the Shastra is reserved for Brahman. This part, this thought, this everything. So everything is evident to me in the form of this vritti. And one more thing about this vritti, any vritti for that matter, is kshanika. Kshanika means little time. Here now, gone now. Here now, gone now. Born is gone. That is the nature of this vritti. Oh, but I want to hold on to things. You don't want to hold on to things. Imagine if you saw a pot, then what happens? Pot vritti has taken place. And then it never goes away. You're stuck with the pot in the head. And then you see an elephant balanced on the pot. You have to see it because the pot doesn't go away. And then on top of the elephant you see something else. You see a cloud. And then you have a funny kind of a thing. And then the mind, you will feel crazy. And the mind, imagine even in 1 or 2 minutes, you have a series, a pile-up of thoughts that are not going away. Imagine a lifetime of this. You'll feel like running away, but you have nowhere to go to because you cannot run away from the thoughts. They are happening in your own head. Therefore, the Ishvara's arrangement in the form of this mind is to clean out the vritti as soon as it rises and falls, so that I can go to every class without remembering what happened before. Clean slate. There is recollection, but the vritti clearance is there so that we can enjoy being in the present, so that we don't have to hold on to the grudge from 300 years ago. Just because somebody's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather fought with somebody else's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, you don't have to hold that grudge. This is enough for a Bollywood film plot. This is nice. Yeah. Or even Romeo and Juliet, same thing. But we don't have to do that. We can be free. The mind is free of the vrittis. This itself should give a hint to the nature of the Atma, because Bhagavan here is helping us out by freeing the mind, not getting attached to the vritti. The object of this vritti, one more thing about this vritti, the object of this vritti keeps changing. And then, therefore, it does not stick. It does not stick to the self, and this becomes a very nice segue to understanding the nature of the self as asanga, unaffected, uninvolved with any thought, with anything that goes on. So this is the first kind of vritti that the Vidyaranya Swami delineates. He calls it Bahirmukha vritti, a vritti that goes outward facing vritti that cognizes everything, that takes in all the details. This is red, this is yellow, attributes, color, sight, sounds, everything it takes in. Bahirmukha vrittihi esha. Bahya vastu ullikhet. Ullikhet means underscores, brings to light. All the bahya vastu, vastuni means all the things outside, all the impressions, sounds and objects it brings to light. And then what else is there? There is one more silent vritti. What is that vritti? Aham vritti. What is the meaning of the word aham? I. Aham is I. I vritti. I vritti means what? Ahankara, I thought, I notion. So the I thought, what is its job? First of all, its job is to see where is this I and what is this ahankara associated with and attached to. But then instead, what does it think its job is? It thinks its job is to own up this vritti. this flower. And then the ahankara takes credit for the flower. How did it make the flower? No, it had nothing to do with flower. It just said, Ikshe, Pushpam, Ikshe. I see the flower, and immediately what does the ahankara? Gives itself a medal. What is the medal? I am the knower of this flower. I know. And this is how we are. We are very poor listeners because of this I vritti. Because the I vritti wants to advertise itself. It's like a small child. And what does it do? It interrupts every conversation even before the person has had, the poor person in front of you has had a chance to finish the sentence. What do we say? I know. Yes, I know. How do you know what I'm going to say? I know. Already I know. This is common with married couples, but even otherwise, we have this habit of saying, I know. Even if we are too polite to say, I know, we still think it. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. This is the I vritti. The I vritti is also important because why is the I vritti important? Because the I vritti has to own up the perceptions. Otherwise, you're seeing something and then you don't know what you're seeing. That is not a good arrangement. So the order is such, or the jivik order, the order that makes this individual body, mind, sense complex in this particular way to function, is that this vritti has to be owned up. Ikshe, Shrinomi, Jigrami, Swadayami. Asankaryena bhindyat means this is very beautiful. The I vritti, which is taking this vritti as itself, takes it without mixing up the this vritti. Each vritti from the this category is kept separate. This is an object of smell. This is an object of hearing. This is a sound. This I don't mix up the sound and the sight. I hear the wind. I see the trees shaking. Those may be related, but they are two separate perceptions. The I vritti is very, very clever and a little dumb at the same time, as we will see. The I vritti's job is to own up all the perceptions as pramatru, pramata. Pramata means what? Knower. Knower, hearer, seer, thinker. And here, the vritti keeps going and coming, and the aham, this vritti appears to be coming and going. It is here today, it is gone just now. But the I vritti appears to have a certain permanence. How do you say that? Because somebody came, like this is an example, somebody came and an elderly gentleman came and showed me a grainy black and white photograph. Swamiji, this is a picture of me when I was 2 months old. And I said, I can see the resemblance. That time also no teeth, no hair. Now also same. So, how can this gentleman say, this is I? Because the aham vritti has a continuity. This is I when I was 5 years old. This is what the child can, the grown-up child, the adult can tell the parents, I am like this because you did this to me when I was 5 years old. You did not let me talk. You were only the ones talking. And that is why I am silent. You can tell that to your parents. And what will the parents say? Especially if they're Indian parents. Are you talking now or not? Okay, go. That is what they You are able to talk to tell me that you couldn't talk. That means what? You can talk. deal with it. That's all. Subject matter not for me, the parents will say, subject matter for therapy. Take it to therapy. Don't come to me. Yeah, a healthy attitude also. So therefore, the I vritti seems to be the one that is just there. Lifelong it is there, and it is the one that is the boss of the this vritti. It is like an editor of the film. What does it do? It cuts out and splices things that it doesn't want. It blocks out, and then, even in the memory, that's why there are gaps. There are gaps in the memory because certain things have dropped. Why have they dropped? Too painful. The ahankara, the I vritti has cut the tape and edited out and then brought it together as though it never happened. Too painful to revisit, too difficult to stay there. This is what is aham vritti. And this aham vritti is responsible for the subjective perception of this world. Why? Because it has owned up, even before owning up the this vritti, it has owned up the raga and the dvesha. It has owned up all the things it likes and does not like as me, as good as me. And what are raga dveshas? This vritti, this object. That is what it is. This object, cockroach, is simply an object. And then the aham vritti owns it up and then says, I hate it, I cannot handle it, I do not want it. And then there is some, what is that called? Gecko. Like this sound it makes. Yeah. Some people don't come to the ashram because it is there, yeah. I cannot be in the same place as the gecko. In our ashram, like that only, there's a one person comes and they give 1 week notice, I'm coming. And so, when I was a brahmachari, I had to go along with a few other people equipped with brooms to escort the geckos out of that cottage where this person used to occupy. So this poor gecko, it's just an object of this vritti. It's part of creation, Ishvara's creation. But then I have made it my creation. How? By saying this is an object of fear, this is an object of dislike, this is an object of love. And so the aham vritti splices, edits, abridges and punctuates the jagat according to its agenda. We are in trouble. The drama has started. The Rama has been edited out or added to. The D has been added to Rama. What's going to happen? Let us find out in the evening. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you very much.